So right then guys, here we are doing the actual work, and you will see that the guitar is on the neck jig. I have the dials zeroed out, the neck is fully supported, so if we get any movement whatsoever, these dials will let me know. They're both zeroed out at the moment. I've already done some work on this, and what I did was all the frets that were uneven, I've been across again just to check with the fret rocker. And what I've done is I've gone and filed the high areas to within 1/1000 of a millimetre of an inch within where they need to be. So some may still be a little bit high, but what has happened now is because I've taken a levelling file and I've gone across all of the frets to level them all off with each other, and we should more or less be level along the whole length of the neck. But I'm still going to check again with the fret rocker. You'll see I've penned all the frets up again, ready for final levelling. Now the fact that I've used that file to level them all off, we've used a file going up and down this way, and we've put scratches in all the frets that way. What we're going to be doing soon is we're going to remove as much of these scratches as possible by levelling the whole lot again using some finer grit sandpaper. I'm going to show you that in a minute, but first I'm just going to check for level now. And we're seeming absolutely fine. We may well still have a couple of frets just a little bit high in certain places, but we're looking actually really good right now. If you want to show how to do a fret level from scratch, skip back a video or two and you will see that I show the process on previous videos. There's a Garrison one I've just about, well, I'm going to post it shortly. It'll be up before this one. And that shows how I go about doing basically what I call a mini fret level before I do the main fret level. That's still rocking there. So better than that, it's rather than you go about, I can show you. What I will do is I'll take this file, for instance, where it's still high, and I'll go across. And once I start touching the other frets deeply, I will stop. You see there, taking some off that and off these ones here, and we should now, let's have a look again. And now we're level along these areas, but it's also removed pen from other frets further along. So a little bit higher there. What we're doing is we're putting scratches in that way now. We're going to remove them in a bit. And there you go. It's now gone. Still checking for level everywhere. Gentle pressure. And these frets are more or less level now. All across the whole length. Now what I'm going to be doing is I will pen them up again. And because that file I've just used is pretty coarse, like I say, we have deep scratches in these frets and all these ones along here. I'll take my marker pen, we'll pen them all up again. Go from this end. And the file I've just used is pretty coarse. It's a coarse file that removes a lot of material in a short space of time. Now while I'm going to talk, while I let this dry. Need a few seconds to let this dry. So all the frets are penned up. Now this file is perfectly flat. It's the flattest file I have, so it's great for levelling. But it is a pretty coarse cut. And we put scratches in the frets this way, and we need to remove all those. And a couple of things we've also done here. What we've done is the frets, we've now flattened the frets, most of them across the top. We're not finished yet, but by the time we've filed all these down and we've gone across with a levelling beam, we would have flattened the frets. Where fret going that way, if you look at the cross section, it's like a D shape from here to there, and you've got what you call a crown. The fret is crowned. Now when I file them down, we're going to go pretty much flat. We need to put that crown back in, which I'll show you that again later. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to get the levelling beam. Now I've already gone across with the file, which is a really coarse grit, so I'm going to go with a coarse grit first, just to make sure we're level. This is a perfectly milled flat box of steel section of steel box section. It's 2 inch by 1, it's milled perfectly flat. I've got 240 grit paper this side, 400 grit that side. I'm going to go across with the 240, just to make sure that we are level. If we are level everywhere, this pen should come off all of the frets. And we have removed pen from all of the frets. So now we've determined that the frets are all level. So nice and even, just make sure we've got everywhere. That's fantastic. Now, the score lines we've got going that way are actually less than they were before. Let's give it some wipe. So we determined that these frets are now all level, which is fantastic. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go with a finer sandpaper. Again, helping to remove these scratches. Now this will not be the final thing we do to remove the scratches. We will bring these frets to a polish. Once I've recrowned them, we're going to bring them to a polish. And we'll go with various grits of sandpaper, starting at around about 1000 grit, and we'll polish the frets that way, just across that way, to remove all these lines. And we'll go with a finer grit followed by a finer grit, finishing up with 2000 or 2500. By the time we get to the 2000 or 2500, all of these lines this way will be gone and the frets will be highly polished. So we're going to go over to the 400 grit side, the smooth side. Really smooth sandpaper this. You can feel it working straight away. And we're just going to follow the radius with a fingerboard, or radius of the frets. And there you go, it's beautiful, we're all done. And we're all done. We've got this little, showing a little low spot there. I don't think it is low, but we'll have a check. We'll check both sides first, and we're absolutely spot on. So I'm really pleased with that. So the frets are now all level. Didn't take that much work at all. Like I said, I did the majority of it with the flat file. I'm just going to check these because the pen's not been touched there. We have a high spot just there. Right on the edge. Thought we did. I'll just take this file, check again. Normally if you've got a low spot somewhere, you've got a high spot previous. Right on the edge there. And you see that fret and that fret's not touching, it's because this one's slightly higher. I'm just going to take that bit off. Check again. Now we're good. Now if we go with this, we should be bang on. And there you go. Turn around for good luck. If the file's still working, we do have a high fret. There you go, it's all nice and smooth now. Everything's smooth. Nice and gentle. And that's it. The frets are now all level everywhere. I can tell because all the pen's gone. So we'll start from this end. We'll check the frets are all level with each other. Good stuff so far. Good thing about crowning the frets, which I'm going to do next, is I don't have to do it on this setup. I can actually go and put it on the other bench, on the setup bench, and I can sit down while I do it. Now you'll see I've taped up this area of the body of the guitar. That's because I'm going to be using a file on these frets to recrown them. And we don't want to be digging into the body and causing damage to the paint or the lacquered area. Again, something I learned from experience. Not that you should have any of these uncovered anyway. Now you see, I have in the past had, you remove this tape and it's removed paint and lacquer before. Now you not see it from the angle you're at, but take my word for it, underneath this blue low tack tape I have regular masking tape white, which is really low tack, so it's only just on the body. It will peel off really easy, it won't peel any paint off. And there you go, that is all the frets absolutely level. So I'm going to pen up again, ready for recrowning. Now if I just zoom in just a little, you'll probably see where we're at. Okay, let's get my finger somewhere. There you go, it's a good place. There you go, that's more or less in the centre. You'll see that these frets are now flat, where they had that crown, we're now flattened out. I need to put that crown back in. So what we're going to do is we're going to pen up all of these frets again. I'm going to move tables. I'm going to stick this on the normal setup bench, and we are going to crown these files. We're going to crown these frets. Once they're crowned, we can set on to getting them all polished up. So stay tuned and I'll show you that process shortly. Right then, now I'm going to move on to crowning the frets. As mentioned before, basically where we've filed them flat, we need to put that crown back in, and the crown goes this way, from this side to this side, all the way across. It forms a D shape at this edge here. And to do the job in question, I'll be using various files. The one I tend to use the most is my 3-edged file. It's got 320-degree corners on there. Each edge is ground flat, or smooth, should I say, not ground flat, ground smooth. And that enables me to come across, work the fret. I start vertical, and as I want to put the crown in, I roll over, roll over, roll over, roll over with a forward and backward motion. Basically like this, until we have a thin line just on the top of the fret. And I'll do the same the other side, always wiping the file to make sure we don't get, if we get some we'll get some burrs on there, or we'll get some fragments on there, we don't want to run them into the metal because we will scratch it. And again, this side. And I'm only doing this just to show you on camera right now. I'm not actually doing it proper, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom the camera in, and you may get a better look. I'm going to just drop the camera so you can see. I'm going to concentrate on these 3 frets for now. Maybe I'll just do 2. I don't want to zoom in too much because I don't want to lose focus. So we're looking to get a thin line of pen. We put pen across the whole top of the frets, about 2.5mm, 3mm wide, and we're looking to get that just where the string hits the fret, just a thin line right down the centre. So I'm going to show you how we go on. Take the file, and I'm going to roll away from you as I do this, rolling it away just to get that thin line down the centre. And then I'm going to go to the other side, always wiping the file. I'm going to do the other side. I'm going to do exactly the same. And I'm going to roll over toward the centre. And I don't know how much you can see there, but we have a thin bead of black line down the centre of that fret. It is no wider. It's not half a mil wide. And I'm going to take crowning file. This has a curve. It's a curved cut inside there, and we're just going to go across the top. We're going to round the edges, round this edge, and we're going to remove any burrs, keeping that thin line. The reason we want to keep the pen on there, it means we've not removed any height from the fret, which means the fret remains the same height all along the neck. And that one is done. I'm hoping you can see the thin bead down there. I'm going to do one more. Again, take your file, remove any fragments. A little bit slower this time. Move the chair, make sure I can see. I'm going to start more or less vertical, go across, and I'm going to roll in and over. I'm not sure if it's a one-way or a two-way cut, this file, but it always seems to work pushing it away, which works. So again, putting in the file. Now some of these may not need too much work because we haven't removed, some of them didn't need that much levelling. It was mainly all down the other end of the guitar, but there we go. We have a thin line right down the centre. This is even less, about 1/3 of a millimetre, as is this one now. And again, just taking this file on the 2.5mm side, give it a wipe. See there? You get that D shape there, come across, and get that D shape there. So these are, rather than being flat across the top now, they're basically semicircles going across that way. We check level as we progress, and we are absolutely fine. We've not dropped any level there. So that's it. That's how we go about recrowning the frets. Once this is done, we're going to move on to polishing, which is, like I say, it's a different kettle of fish. So I will show you that when I get to it. But I'm going to crack on now, get the other 20 odd frets done, and I will show you the progress once it is done. Right, we are now on the I say the polishing bench. This bench is used mainly for refretting and polishing. I have 5 different grits of sandpaper: 1000, 1200, 1500, 2000, 2500. I've already been over with a fine paper just to tidy up these edges, polish these over, smooth them off. And I'm going to go with each different grit, going from the smallest to the largest, or in effect that's the largest grains and smallest grains. But I have 1000 grit there. There you go. Going up to 2500 here. Blah blah blah. Can you see that? So I'm going to stick it on the table. Polishing is just a matter of, really makes your fingers ache, especially this thumb area here. And we're going to go across all 22 frets, and we are going to polish. We'll go across the tops. We are also going to get right into the edges, into the corners here. So we're going to get right in. And this is how we do it. And it's time consuming work. Don't take long for your hand to get achy, and especially your fingers. It's just a matter of doing this with all different grit, all 5 grits. Sometimes I start with 800. This didn't need it because we've not removed a great deal of material from the frets. Even though we needed levelling, not all of them have had to have any great amount of material removed. So there you go, that's 2. So there you go, just moving on to number 3. I'll move slightly across the paper. And this is really, really tedious work. My hand's aching now anyway, my shoulder will start to ache in a minute. But there you go, that is how we do it. About 90 more frets with this grain or grit of paper to go. Then I've got 4 more grits of paper, then I'll finish off with steel wool. So I'm going to crack on, I'm going to get this done. It's getting a bit, well, it's not getting late, it's getting to about 8 PM now, so I'm going to just do this one layer with this piece of paper. I'm going to do another 4 grits in the morning. So the quicker I get this done, the better it is for me, because I can knock off and take my dog for a walk. So that is me for this evening, just about. I shall come back tomorrow and show you how we got on. So welcome back, guys. It is now next day, early in the morning. I have finished polishing the frets. I say finishing. I've gone with 5 grits of paper, but now I'm coming to do the final polishing with the finest grain, or the finest grade of steel wool. And this is grade, it's super fine. This is grade 0000, which is the finest steel we can get, and this will bring everything up to a really shiny, smooth polish. It's just a matter of go across the top and getting right into the corners here, all with the tape on so we don't rub into the fingerboard. What I would do first is, I didn't mention this, just go straight up the edges just to bring those to a shine. We've already gone across with sandpaper and rounded these edges off anyway. Just go up the whole length of the neck. Doesn't take mega long, this. It's not till we're getting to the end of the job here. And again, across the fret, like so. it's coming to a really beautiful shine. You probably, I don't think you get it on the camera, but this is, I can't put a number on it, I don't know. But this is dull in comparison to this one, which is super shiny. So I'm going to crack on, get the rest of these done, however many there are, 21, I'd imagine there's 22 on this, on the PRS. All those scratches we put in when levelling that way are now all gone. We went with 5 grits of paper. In the end I went with 1,000, 1,200, 1,500, 2,000 and 2,500. Sometimes I start with 800. It depends how scratched the frets are. The heavier the scratching, the chances are a little more likely that I'm going to go with 800 first. There you go, that's a couple done. So 20 more to do. Once that's done, I will remove the tape. Oh, by the way, the nut, I've already cut the nut. We've taken at least 1.5 millimeters off the top of this nut. The grooves were really deep. Now I've got the grooves somewhere close to where they need to be. Not only have I shaped it and sanded it, like so, I also have a, it's like a welder's tool kind of affair, if I can find it. I don't know what I've done with it. Here you go. This gubbins here, basically it's a set of files, like so. Let's try and get the right one. And what I do, once I've recut the fret slots, we go in with one that fits the slot and we just round it off, just remove any burrs from there. That probably fits that one better. And we go thinner and thinner till we've got them all done. I will clean these slots out again. And we'll put a little bit, maybe a little bit of something like a bit of, not so much pencil lead, maybe a bit of Vaseline or something, just to stop the strings binding. The strings aren't going to bind in this. I've made them slightly wider. So that is the nut already cut. It's a plastic nut. It's not ideal. I would like to see a bone nut on there. Maybe it's something we can do in the future. We'll stick a bone nut on. But at the moment it's too time consuming for me to do that. We're just going to get the guitar all set up again, get the owner happy with it, and sure it will be a good one. So I'm going to crack on with these frets, giving them a final polish. Once done, I will remove the tape, we'll get the nut on, and I will come back and show you the progress. So we are now on the fun part. I'll just close this door. Fun part being the removing of the tape, which is always brings great satisfaction because you get to see the end result. And first we'll make sure we get all the ends off first. It's why I put a strip underneath, because it makes it so much easier. There you go. Didn't see that bit there, that's good. I always put a strip along the length of the edge of the neck each side because it makes it easier to pull them all up, and pulling them up then it just makes it easier to remove the tape. So this is just great. And it's very rare to get it all off without any residue whatsoever. We have a little bit of residue just there, but that is going to come off so easily. And that is the frets all highly polished. I don't think you really get a benefit on camera. And what we're going to do now is we're going to leave this tape on for the time being, because we are going to spray the whole fingerboard with mineral oil. You know, it's lemon oil. It's basically specially formulated mineral oil for rosewood and ebony fingerboards. It has a little bit of lemon oil in there, or a little bit of lemon essence in there. That's why we call it lemon oil. If this was lemon oil, this would strip your wood to bits. It'd break and knacker it right up. It's not lemon oil, specially formulated. These companies know what they're doing when they formulate this stuff. don't fall for the hype. Oh, it destroys the guitar. Yeah, lemon oil wood. This is not lemon oil. It's mineral oil containing lemon. And all we're going to do is just the whole fingerboard. There you go. We're going to let that soak in 15-20 minutes. I'll move on to something else. Once that's done, I shall wipe this off. There you go. Wipe it off in 20 minutes. Once that's done, I'll glue the nut back in. It's actually got some of the old residue underneath anyway, so it's going to go in exactly the right position. We go basically where it came from. And once that's done, we'll remove his tape, clean everything up, get some strings on, get it all set up. So basically we are now on the home stretch. And here we are, an amount of minutes later with the guitar ready to be restrung. What a beautiful looking guitar this is, eh? What do you think to that? But there's the neck, at a complete fret level. Those frets look wonderful. I've cut the nut right back. It's about the best angle you can really get there because my tripod is in the way. Don't want to get too close. I can show you better from this angle. Nice low cut nut there, looks a lot better. A lot of people say the big problem with these guitars is the nut. But that is it. It is all ready to be restrung. We've got a set of Ernie Ball slinkers going on there, 942s. There you go. I'll get it strung up, get the string stretched in, and then we will be all done. There we go, the guitar is all done. Beautiful, beautiful looking guitar, look at that. Complete fret level, regular player setup. Didn't need to go with an intensive setup on this, didn't need the electrics touching. So yeah, absolutely fine. Just realised I just need to wipe this neck a little from where the tape was. But what a beautiful guitar, a little bit of tape residue on there. I use a little bit of lighter fluid on that. And naphtha, we use Zippo lighter fluid instead of naphtha. You don't get naphtha straight over here in England, but Zippo lighter fluid is the same thing. We use it for cleaning guitars. A couple of nicks here and there on the guitar, but nothing, absolutely nothing major. What a beautiful guitar this is. Action wise, I know James, is it James? Yes, James, likes a really low action. I've got it to just around, just about 1.5 millimeters above the 12th fret on the high E or low E, about 1.25 millimeters on the high E. That is a really low action. Minimal relief in the neck, not straight, but as quite close to straight. I use about half as much relief as I normally would. I am going to give the guitar just a little wipe over with a bit of cleaner, Dunlop 65 and a clean lint-free cloth. Just get it all polished up really, really nice. But this one is ready to go back in its case and go back to its owner. Beautiful. You really can't grumble at this guitar at all. So that's it. Another one bites the dust, so to speak. So I will blob on to the next one. It's all go here this week. It really is all go. So boys and girls, fret friends, as always, I'm not going to tell you about websites. You know where they are. Facebook.com/NGONESEVEN. Facebook.com/NG17. You know all about that. So number one finished. Going to move on. So until the next time, be good to each other, and I will see you soon.